And a good afternoon, everybody. A tremendous day for soccer. Mark Narducci here to bring you all the Centennial Conference action between the Ursinus Bears and the Swarthmore Garnet. A beautiful day for soccer, 68 degrees, cloudy. The high is going to get to 70 today. Ursinus coming in 1-4-2, 0-2 in the Centennial Conference. Meanwhile, Swarthmore 5-2-1, 0-1-1 in the Centennial. Though the early season Centennial Conference schedule has been brutal for the Garnet. We will talk about that as the game goes on. Let's get to the starting lineups. First, for Ursinus, in goal will be junior Kirk Ramson from Furlong, PA, the Central Bucks West graduate. Harry Lorick will be playing D. Nick Balbierer from Newark, Delaware, is one of the midfielders. Colin Deal, one of the real impressive freshmen from not too far from here, Bishop Shanahan. Tommy Mollis from Haddonfield, New Jersey, another one of the midfielders, as is Aiden O'Malley, who's from Saratoga Springs, New York. Jack Schmidt, the sophomore from Wissahickon High School, will be playing one of the midfield positions. The leading scorer, Marco Grenda, number 14. He's a guy that you have to watch, and we'll talk about him. He's from Percy, PA, went to Penridge High School. Patrick Tormey, sophomore midfielder from Annapolis, Maryland. Reed Grant from East Brunswick, New Jersey. And Joshua Costner from Rockville, Maryland. For the Garnet, they'll be starting Max Kroll in goal. Leo Hecht, who did not play the last time I broadcast the game against Kane, the 2-1 win against Kane, but he's back and certainly well needed and one of the real catalysts for this Swarthmore team. Leo Hecht is a senior from Princeton Junction, New Jersey. Dean Chong, sophomore midfielder from Corona Del Mar, California. Stathis Clothier, the junior midfielder from London, England. Freddie Lynn, who gives the offense such a boost up top, the junior from Upper Arlington, Ohio. Oliver Claxon, who's played so well in the back this year, the junior from Lexington, Massachusetts. Matthew Lorig also has played great in the back. He's a junior from Crofton, Maryland. Sean Nolan, who scored the goal in the last game, the 1-1 draw with Gettysburg, the senior, he'll quarterback the defense from Baltimore, Maryland. Jackson Haynes, who's been such an impressive freshman from Diamond Bar, California. Up top, Brandon Cramblett, the junior from Mountain View, California. And also another guy in the back, Henry Lynn, the freshman, the brother of Freddie, from Upper Arlington, Ohio. Swarthmore is in the home white uniform. Ursinus in the black uniforms. And again, all of these games are just so important. Remember this year, a little change in the Centennial Conference. 6 teams will make the conference playoffs instead of the usual 5. And you know what? Even with 6 making it, there's going to be a heck of a team that doesn't get into that as well. So Swarthmore loves to work from the back. There's Nolan. As we said, he not only scored the other day, it was his first career goal. Nolan will be taking a lot of the free kicks. Goes back to Jackson Haynes, who's really been impressive. Whether in the back, he could also move up to the midfield. He's got that kind of versatility. And again, 14, Marco Grenda is the guy, and he's chasing the ball now with Haynes, and well done by Haynes to get it out of there. You don't want to give Grenda any room anywhere near the goal. Ursinus has scored just 4 times this year. Grenda has 2 of them. Had a big year last year with 12 goals. So 14 is a guy that certainly they're going to watch up top. And we'll see how much pressure Ursinus puts on the back. Nice pass by Clothier. Cramblett. Freddie Lynn working it out, but cleared out of there by Jack Schmidt. Nice job by Grenda coming back for the ball and then passing it back. But here come the Garnet. Right past midfield. Lorig, who's been so instrumental in not only playing strong defense, but helping out the attack as well. Also a guy to watch when Swarthmore takes its throw-ins. Gets some pretty good distance on it. Haynes headed that ball out. And Haynes once again on the clear. Coster, though, headed it back in. Mollis. Lorick. Inside there, going in to Mollis that time, but he couldn't quite get his foot on it, as Henry Lynn made it very difficult for him to get that ball. Good defensive play by the freshman. First real attack. It was a good defensive play by Ball Beer, number 3. So it'll be the Garnet on the throw. Cramblett trying to shield the ball, but it's going to be Lorick. Hecht. And that ball's kicked out of bounds by Colin Deal. Been a very impressive freshman for this Ursinus team. Ursinus coached by Daniel Klitnovic. This is his first season guiding the Bears. Previous 5 seasons, the associate head coach for Villanova women. And here come the Garnet. Long ball. Chasing it down there, and out is Lorick on the kick, but Swarthmore putting on some heat here. Henry Lynn. And one thing we're noticing, Claxon now will bring it back to Haynes. And here comes Granda. Grenda with Haynes. That's going to be a tremendous matchup all game. And Grenda got it. And that was hit by Swarthmore, so Kroll couldn't catch it, but he gets the ball out of there. Costner on the far side with the throw. Haynes again out of bounds as Patrick Tormey trying to get it. Wow, Haynes is really aggressive, isn't he? And you could see the strategy right here. They're not letting Grenda, number 14, have very much space. Haynes has been on him, but also Nolan backing it up. There's a high cross, but Kroll makes the easy play. Kroll likes to give it to his backs to get it out, but it looks like he's ready to punt this one. Nope, there he goes. And why not? Why not get it to Nolan? There's a guy that gets it out from the back as well as anybody. Of course, Swarthmore was down 1-0 to Gettysburg when Nolan scored the goal on a free kick just outside the box. Ball Beer to Ransom, who doesn't get all of it that time. Galathius tries to head it in. Lorick clears it, but Nolan with the head. Right back, Colin Deal. Claxon tried to carry up. That was off 15, Patrick Tormey, so it'll be the Garnet here. Haynes. Back to the QB. Mollis with the steal and hit out by Nolan. So it'll be a throw for the Bears. Harry Lurick. Short throw. Deal. Swarthmore doing a nice job moving it. That's Reed Grant in the middle there. Deal with a nice one-touch pass, but had a little too much on it. Was looking for Joshua Costner, 33, going down the right flank. You know, even though Ursinus is 0-2 in the Centennial Conference, it just shows how difficult this conference is. Nobody takes the Bears for granted. Remember last year, Swarthmore beat the Bears by a 2-1 score. All these Centennial Conference games, it's an old cliche, but they're just no easy ones here. Thing is, Swarthmore had to start off with Hopkins. Right now, the top team and the nationally ranked team, losing that one 1-0, and then the 1-1 tie with Gettysburg. Going long to Lorig, and then headed out there by Ransom. That was really the only play he had. So that's an excellent run by Lorig. And there's Freddie Lynn now trying to make something happen, and back to Haynes. Early on, Swarthmore showing a lot of composure with the ball, not trying to force things. And if they don't have it, they'll go back. Just as Henry Lynn right there did to Nolan. Nolan looking for Lorig up the right flank. Ransom gets to it. So Lorig has made a couple of nice runs here for the Garnet. Lorik coming up, and he's got some steam. Making the chip. I think he was going to Mollis that time. Also, he had Gwenda on the left wing, but that one goes out of bounds, so it'll be a throw for the Garnet. No score, 36-02 left here in the first half. That's a nice head ball by Colin Deal. Ursinus has been very impressed with Deal. Here come the Bears, and then Henry Lynn stole it. And Claxon now will take the throw. Freddie Lynn, number 9 for Swarthmore, does a great job of playing with his back to the goal and then making a quick turn. Tormey couldn't get it by. Deal with the pass up to Mollis. Mollis with one dribble with the shot. Kroll with the save. So Tommy Mollis, the former Haddonfield Bulldog, had a nice chance there. Had no one on him. Couldn't quite get everything on that shot. You know, Swarthmore's played some physical games with Hopkins, 30 fouls called, with total fouls called, with Gettysburg 31. That kind of takes it out of you. This is so far has not been a foul-filled game. Swarthmore's been very, very patient in trying to work it up. There's Lorig, so dangerous. Now he can take it inside as he did that time. He won't just go down the wing. Lynn Gets it. Can he turn around? No. Deal kicks it out that time, but still kept in by Cramblett. And finally cleared away by Aiden O'Malley as Swarthmore putting on some excellent pressure. Did that go in? That surprised everybody. Was it Freddie Lynn on that goal? I looked down for a second, and next thing I know, the scores, but Swarthmore is now up 1-0. They're giving the goal to Claxon that time on the goal. It not only surprised me, it surprised the Bears defense that went in. So Claxon gets the goal. His second of the year. What a strange goal that was, but it puts the Garnet up 1-0. Granda, Mollis, Tormeet. But great defense by Haynes, and he'll get it back to Kroll. Kroll will one-time it out of there to Freddie Lynn. Clothier with the long shot that time. Ransom with the save. Everybody kind of just stood around, not believing that went in the net, that goal. But the Garnet up 1-0. Both teams with one shot on goal. Bolbier kicks that ball out of bounds. There's Hecht. Hecht with a little one-timer there. Bolbier, though, with the head out of bounds. Swarthmore has had the better of the play, and as I mentioned, has been very, very patient on the attack. Has not really forced things. Schmidt. But there's Henry Lynn. That's an excellent save. Calathius to Lorig. Really good movement, and he's got the jets to take it down that right side. Into Hecht. Calathius looking for someone, beats one. Back to Lorig. Can he cross it? Hecht to Lorig. Not much space. They're working in very tight corners. And still Lorig has it. Cramblett shoots, and that deflected off of somebody. And Ransom had to go down on his knee for that one. So the Garnet, I'm kind of a fluke goal, but a goal nevertheless. Oliver Claxon's second of the season, leading this one by a score of 1-0. I noticed in this game versus the last time I saw the Garnet play, Henry Lynn, 21, is having a much more significant offensive impact. There's Lynn right now with the ball. Lynn to Claxon. Claxon thought about taking Schmidt on one-on-one, but thought better, and they'll get it back to Nolan here. Clothier. Chong. Dean's still with it, and he gets it back to Nolan. I think one of the keys so far in this game is the fact that Swarthmore has not forced the issue. They don't see something there, they'll just kick it back. And here come the Garnet. Lorig on the run and saved by Ransom on a kick save that time. Well, we talked about what kind of year Lorig has had. The junior from Crofton, Maryland, has really done a great job. Clothier and Nolan both there at the corner. We'll see how they go with it. Well, we'll be Nolan now. Still not cleared. Cramblett. I'll tell you, he's not afraid to pull the trigger. He's got quite a shot, too. And here comes Grenda. He hasn't had much room today, and he was trying to go to Coster on the outside, but too far, and also offside. Garnet trying to get that out of their defensive zone. Freddie Lynn comes back for the ball about as well as any forward you're going to see. Hecht with a chip to Cramblett on the left flank. Cramblett, he faked the cross, tried to get the move. Clothier inside. Henry Lynn with it. Goes to Lorig. Lorig's had a lot of success cutting the ball back into the middle as well as taking it down the flank. And this is Lorig trying to clear it out still. Swarthmore, Cramblett, save, Ransom. So the junior from Central Bucks West has had to be alert in goal as he's been tested. Substitution, Alexander Wall coming in for Tormey. Wool, a sophomore from locally from around the southeastern PA area, Abington High School. Also in for Swarthmore, Oliver Garcia, who is making his debut this year, and this is a big move for Swarthmore. Garcia had been out due to illness, and he is coming back, and he will be a major help to this Swarthmore team. Junior from Brooklyn, New York. So we'll see at 23 and watch him. Actually, he had played one game this year. So this is his second appearance, but he will be a huge addition to the Garnet. Grenda trying to pressure Nolan, but Nolan looking for Hecht. Harry Lorick got his head on it, and Lorick now partially clears it. Henry Lynn and Deal, two really impressive freshmen, aren't they? Here comes Swarthmore again. Oh, and another kick save that time by Ransom on Cramblett. Cramblett came in. Ransom's keeping the Bears in the game. There's no question about that. As Swarthmore has had repeated chances. Lorick with the clear. Head ball by Loreg. Oh, look at him stepping behind and making that pass. That's a great move by number 12 through the Garnet. Nolan. There's Henry Lynn, who had played outside back the last time I saw him, but he's doing a nice job today in the midfield. Haynes, who's been just so solid as a freshman. Claxon was going for Cramblett again. Coster. Here come the Bears trying to get something going. Mollis with the back pass to Lorick. Schmidt. Excellent defensive play that time by Hecht as he clears it and gets it to Freddie Lynn. That's a textbook play, but stolen by the Bears. Here comes Deal. Grenda. And Deal taken down, so it'll be a free kick for the Bears. Looks like Aiden O'Malley ready to take it. Swarthmore has to move that wall back. We say this every broadcast. By the way, our officials, Yuri Siskin in the middle, Hung Win and Matthew Falk on the lines today. You know, O'Malley looks to be about 30, maybe 35 yards out. Can he go right on goal? No, he's going. Oh, he was going, it looked like, for Lorick that time. And Swarthmore smelled it. Here. Garcia, he was looking for Cramblett, and Cramblett's still battling for the ball. Claxon, who's come up on the attack. Chong. You know what you really like is the calculated moves by the backs. And there's Nolan making an outstanding play when they come up, when they help the attack. But they always seem to get back in time as well. Nolan with great positioning that time. That's your 2-14s, Nolan and Grenda. That ball, little bit too much on it. They were looking for Grenda that time. 20-12 left here in the first half. Swarthmore 1, Ursinus nothing. Just a beautiful day here at Clothier Field Stadium. Swarthmore has continued to use that left flank well. Inside, they were looking for Garcia. Freddie Lynn, here's Cramblett. Back to Lynn. You know Cramblett, he'll tee it up in a moment's notice. He doesn't need a lot of room to shoot. Hecht to Freddie Lynn. There we talk about Freddie that time. The way he shields the ball. I don't think any foul called. No. Servag Yapoyan, number 29, into the game for the Bears. And our first look today at Bess Tumoshabe, who's really been an offensive force this year. And it shows the depth that Swarthmore has. When Tumoshabe can come in, Freddie Lynn now gets the breather. Where Tumoshabe's is most impressive is how he can, take on defenders one-on-one. He causes a lot of heartache to opposing D. Cramblett, who's worked both wings well. Cramblett. Oh, there's Henry Lynn. Goes for the pass. Garcia didn't get a lot on that one. One of the easier ones for Ransom, who's made some big saves here so far in the first half. Harry Lurick back. Balbier looking to switch fields, and he does a nice job. Coster. Mollis looked for the spin, but he gets the foul. That time Claxon got the foot in there, took him down, so it'll be a free kick. Coster goes to Balbier. Mollis, who has Claxton the beat on the outside. That's a tough task. Mollis, though, does cross it in. And that is a foul. I believe it was on Yapoyan, 29. Didn't go straight up for that head ball, so here come the Garnet. Brandon Cramblett, number 19, has just been running all over the field. He's had a couple good shots. Tumoshabe that time. Here comes Bless. Back to Garcia. Claxon. Really methodically working it is Swarthmore. I think Garcia gives them just another person that really helps with that possession game that they love to have. There's Garcia. Tumoshabe, who is dangerous going down the flank, going anywhere really. They were looking for Dean Chong, but the pass a little bit too far. By the way, Swarthmore ready to have freshman Toshiro Kenny come into the game. He's only their leading scorer this year, and again, we talked about the depth of this team. I mean, he started his share of games as well. But either way, Coach Eric Wagner has done just a tremendous job developing the depth on this Swarthmore team. Nolan, he was going for Tumoshabe, but just a little bit too far. Marco Ballack into the game also, along with Kenny Ballack for the Bears. Good footwork there by Ransom. Well, one thing Swarthmore has decided is 14 Grenda is not going to beat them single-handedly. They are putting not only players on him, but they're having weak side defenders shading him as well. He has not had a whole lot of room to operate here today. And for good reason. He's a talented player. Tied for the Centennial Conference lead last year with 12 goals. Lorig, what a big first half he's had. There's Kenny, our first look at him at the freshman today. Kenny with 3 goals and 2 assists on the year. That's a good defensive play by Mollis. That was almost a dangerous back pass. Alexander Wall got it out there. Reed Grant. Garcia on the intercept. Gets it back. I'll tell you, in the early going, Oliver doesn't look like a guy that hasn't seen much time this year. It looks really sharp. Looks like Antonio Caligari ready to come into the game for the Garnet. Boy, the Bears kind of playing around with it too much back there, and it costs them. Garcia to Tumoshabe, who's taken down. No call. Haynes. Here comes Mollis. Granda just a little bit too far for Grenda. But that, if you're Ursinus, that's what you want to do. Give Grenda the ball in any kind of space. Here comes Kenny. Nice one touch by Cramblett to Tumoshabe. Bless going down. Still has the ball. Look how strong he is. Finally, Mole took it away. And Lorick tries to clear. Mollis with Nolan right on him. How about Nolan coming up defensively like that? He made that play. Cleared away by Lorick, though. Claxon. Again, that's a perfect example. Claxon didn't see anything going forward, so he just pushed it back. This is what Swarthmore's been doing all half. Very patient on the attack. But hasn't lost the ball a whole lot. There's Garcia that time, back to Henry Lynn. And Max Kroll gets a touch. Again, Kroll, like we said, doesn't like to go long. He likes to give it, distribute it to his backs. Haynes. Garcia's been a great guy to get the ball and then make that outlet pass, hasn't he? Nolan. Cross midfield to Lorig. One thing Swarthmore's doing has been in some tight spaces here, and that's not always easy to work out of. Good challenge that time by Claxon. And as we said, Antonio Caligari into the game, the junior from Rutherford, New Jersey for Swarthmore. For Ursinus, it's Luke Loers in the game, AJ Torres, and Vinny Carosella. So Coach Klintovich going to his bench pretty deeply here. 9:41 left in the first half, 1-0 Swarthmore. That ball could not be kept in by Loers, so it'll be the other number 12, Lorig. Had a big first half. Henry Lynn with a lot of traffic there, and he does get out of it. Claxon. Claxon still working down the flank. Claxon, slide tackle that time by Carosella, and it's going to be a goal kick. That's a nice job by Carosella, the senior from Abington High School. No, now they're saying a corner. Okay. Nope. Corrected again. It's going to be a foul. Now remember, Nolan scored on a free kick right outside the box against Gettysburg. This one's at a tough angle. He's got Haynes who's trying to run down that far post. Let's see how they work this. That ball just too high. Caligari gave it an effort, but too much on it. So it'll be the Bears. Wool. Too much traffic, and Kenny was able to make the steal as A.J. Torres, 20 for Ursinus, just ran out of room there. There's Garcia. He's been a great outlet guy, as we've said. Lorig. Tumushabe working in very tight corners. There's 3 black shirts there. And here comes Grenda. Haynes makes the clear, but still it's the Bears, and Caligari doing a nice job coming back defensively to get that ball for Swarthmore. Tumushabe, who's just a nightmare one-on-one, but he's been accompanied by a lot of defenders. Look at Garcia keeping possession. Lorig. Now Haynes comes up. Nice step over by Haynes. Tumushabe waiting for the ball that time. Wow. That time Ransom got hit. That was Dean Chong. Dean will get the yellow for that. That was a tough bit. I think Dean was trying to slow up. I don't think it was intentional, but still, he really put a shot on Ransom that time. First yellow that we've had today with 6:31 left in the first half. Swarthmore 1-0 over Ursinus. Mull. Oh, did you see what happened there? Torres, I think he's going to get carded for this. He literally grabbed the shirt. You see 20. He literally grabbed the shirt of Kenny. And now we're even 1-1 in yellows. Watch Tumushabe. He's out. He's there. I think that he's made eye contact with Nolan. Now that one's a little too low. Claxon kicks it in. And Balbier got his foot on that. It's a good thing he did. Adrian Marcelli coming into the game for Swarthmore. Also, Nate Berger in for Ursinus, and he'll come in for Grenda, who's done a lot of running here in this first half. So that's the end of seeing Grenda for the first half. Tumo Chavez still with the ball. Trying to clear, and it's still Swarthmore. Nolan, who will cross midfield. Tumo Chavez right there. Is he onside? Wow, great slide that time by Grant, 27. As the Garnet have had so many dangerous runs. Haynes on the clear out. And Carosella lets that ball go out of bounds, and he'll take the throw on the far side. Haynes looking to go for Tumushabe, but Balbeer hit it, and then Mull now clears it. Lures. Oh, good job by Henry Lynn settling the ball. I think there was a foul on Lures there. Here comes Claxon, who's been just so effective bringing it down that left side. Claxon again. Tumushabe. There goes Bless down the side. Bless is so strong, but a really nice job by Carosella that time. Tell you one thing about the Bears, they're confident passing it in the back, even with real pressure from the Garnet. Kenny with a nice move. Kenny with a nice step over, and he still has it. Cramblett. Oh, they were trying to go to Marcelli, but the pass just a little bit too far, but the Garnets still keep the pressure up. Berger. I'll tell you from a possession standpoint, and there is Garcia, but nice job there by Ransom. He was out of the box, brought the ball back in, and then gained possession. But from a possession standpoint, the Garnet have really dominated play here. One of the keys has been the play in net of Ransom. Haynes. Swarthmore, 7 shots on goal to 1 for Ursinus. 1:32 left in the first half. Swarthmore 1-0. O'Malley looking for somebody. And then gives up the throw. Gave that up to Carosella. There's Carosella, who's really looked good today, coming in off the bench. Under a minute to go here in the first half. Reed. There's Torres. Oh, he's got to watch it. Caligari has a chance with a shot save. Well, one thing you really like about Ransom, he's a tall keeper. He's 6'2", but he gets down on those low balls. Textbook fundamentals, the way he plays it. Down to 10 seconds. Can Kenny get one more run in? And Torres hits it. And that'll be it. Well, a dominating first 45 minutes for the Garnet as they take a 1-0 lead over Ursinus. We'll be back for the beginning of the second half in a little bit. Welcome back to Clothier Field Stadium here as we're getting ready for the start of the second half. Swarthmore leading Ursinus 1-0 on a goal by Oliver Claxon. An unassisted goal as that. The statistics were not misleading in the first half. And we said there weren't a lot of fouls called, and it turns out there weren't. Just 6 total fouls, 4 on Swarthmore. Swarthmore leading in shots 8-1. Keeper Kirk Ransom with 7 saves, many of them very difficult. 1 yellow card apiece. And Swarthmore has taken the only corner kick of the game. So even though it's just 1-0, the Garnet have really had the territorial edge here today. Have really controlled things. And I think if you're Ursinus, I mean, I know they're trying to get it to Marco Grenda, their top scorer and top offensive player, but it has been very, very hard. A great job by the Swarthmore defense, particularly Jackson Haynes, the freshman from Diamond Bar, California. And again, Swarthmore has done a very good job on Grenda, just not letting him get open. I mean, the rare time he may get by Haynes or somebody else, Sean Nolan is back there to back things up, helping on the weak side. Now, Grenda went out with under 6 minutes to go in the first half for a breather. He is back to start the second half. As far as different players in for Swarthmore, bless Tumushabe, who came in about the midway point of the first half and just created a lot of havoc. Was a real problem for the Ursinus defense. He's in there to start things off for the Garnet. Freddie Lynn back into the game. So it'll be Lynn and Cramblett up top. Granda that time trying to chase it, but the ball goes out, so it'll be a goal kick for the Garnet. 5-2-1, looking for their first Centennial Conference win, 0-1 in the conference. Losing to Johns Hopkins by a 1-0 score, and then last game out, tying Gettysburg at 1. That time there was a foul on 2, Harry Lorick, so it'll be a free kick for the Garnet. Stathis Clothier back into the game. He was a starter, wearing number 8. And plenty of people played well off the bench, but Oliver Garcia really, in his second game this season, really gave some good minutes to Coach Eric Wagner. This is Vinny Carosella throwing the ball in. He came in off the bench and really played well in his time in the first half, so he's starting things off in the second. There's Reed. Back to ball Beer. As we said in the first half, the Bears are not afraid to make some dangerous passes in the back, but they have to watch it. An opportunistic Swarthmore team, you can make that interception, you can walk in on goal. There's Schmidt on the far side. Schmidt with it again, but then they have to go back to ball Beer. And Nick hits it out. Mollis with the ball. Mollis, and there is Grenda. Can he keep it in? Yes, but he couldn't. No, it's a goal kick. Almost kept it in. So nice little working condition there by Ursinus in tight corners. Mollis, Deal, Grenda. I think Coach Daniel Klitnovich feels that, you get that close, you want to take a shot on goal. Max Kroll there has only been forced to make one save so far. Claxon, again, so active on both ends. There's Mollis. Mollis, he was going for Grenda and passed it behind him. And Haynes tries to clear. But Carosella kept it in, but it's going to be the Garnet on the throw with Claxon. Vinny Carosella and Bless Tumoshabe kind of going at it there. Grenda to Mollis. He cannot quite get control. He's battling with Haynes. And finally, Kroll gets it with Harry Lurick close to being on the doorstep. So Ursinus in the early minutes of the second half is putting a little bit more pressure on than we saw in half number one. How about that head ball by Lorig? Hecht always is spreading the field to Claxon. Claxon, Cramblett, and there comes Deal. Deal with the spin, but Henry Lynn wouldn't let him do it. Nolan, back to Haynes. Those two work so well in the back together, don't they? Tumoshabe. Clothier, and now Claxon on the throw to Freddie Lynn. Claxon, I think he's looking to go right, but he didn't have time. Tumoshabe works in tight corners. Carosella. And it's still the Bears. Bears trying to get more numbers up offensively. There's a chip that time, but just a little bit too far. It's a nice idea by Grenda. He was looking for number 2, Harry Lurick. Too much on it. Carosella on the steal. He's made several of them today. Inside, he was looking for Mollis that time. The ball too far. Still run down by Lurick. Crosses inside. Grenda tries for the shot, and he's going to get the corner kick. First corner kick of the afternoon for the Bears. Vinny Carosella, who's just been so solid, will be taking the corner. Couldn't quite get it. A shot in there, and Claxon heads it out. Tumoshabe has Carosella and plenty of others to beat. Here comes Hecht to Freddie Lynn. Freddie Lynn takes his time. Back to Henry Lynn. Lynn to Lynn. Clothier Wow, there's some physical play with Reed and Clothier that time. And Ursinus gets the call. Tumo Shabe trying to cut in. Good job there by Ransom. Ballbeer, number 3, was going to get the ball, and his keeper called him off. That's excellent communication by the Bears. Chip to Mollis. Mollis has been very active here in the second half. Ursinus has been trying to send him on some long balls. Mollis and Deal have posed some problems as Patrick Tormey comes back into the game for Savang Yapoyan. Tormey was a starter. And there he is with the ball. Again, this is where Swarthmore's been so tough. They haven't allowed the Bears to do a whole lot. Again, that time Carosella just tried a back heel, but there was nobody around. Really a good job marking today by the Garnet. I mean, it's not just on Grenda, who hasn't had any room to maneuver today, but it's really been all of the Bears. So Kroll on the goal kick. And again, Carosella doing a great job, and he'll get the throw. Grenda tried to shield Haynes. Lost the ball, though, that time. Jackson Haynes has just been a tremendous marker. Schmidt goes back to Ballbeer. Coster. Ransom. Wow, they make some really dangerous passes there, and finally Coster clears it. Nolan will get to it. He faked to go back that time. That's a great move. And he kept possession with Haynes, who got it to Tumo Shabe. Claxon didn't have much space to work. Carosella again with a steal. Claxon, look at the ball control he has. Sending Freddie Lynn. Lynn playing the miss, but Ballbeer makes the clear. These forwards always try to play the miss. If they do, they're able to walk in on goal. There's Deal. How about Deal in the tight corner there to Schmidt? Colin Deal. The freshman from Bishop Shanahan has been very impressive today. And it's going to be the Garnet. Henry Lynn right to Nolan. Doesn't waste any time. Boy, some great one-time passing, too. One touch. One thing that Swarthmore's done is worked in pretty tight quarters. And I know it's good when you have people who can break defenders down, but it's not as easy to do when there's so many in a short area. Here comes Mollis. Slide tackle that time, and that'll be a throw. How about that play by Haynes? It'll be the Garnet ball. Does what you want all defenders to do. He made the slide, but he didn't totally commit. So he was if he wasn't successful, he was able to get up and still stay on the play. That's a great defensive play by him. Claxon to Haynes. And Nolan with the clear, but not out. Tormey. Granda, one touch in there, just wide. Granda shows his explosiveness. He has not had many chances, and he was at a tough angle. And went for that far post. By the way, Garcia ready to come back in for Swarthmore. Carosella, by the way, gets a well-deserved breather. Well, that was the best chance. Grenda just kicked it wide. Even though he was at a bad angle, there was space there. Claxon with the clear. Aiden O'Malley, you just saw him. He's into the game for the Bears, wearing number 11. Clothier now. He'll spread it out. Yep. Switches fields beautifully. Crammed it with some space. He can be dangerous. This time he elects to go back. Clothier, to Lorig. Freddie Lynn. Really crisp passing, isn't it, by the Garnet? Claxon has Hecht. There's Hecht. And that ball is blocked that time by Grant. Hecht keeps it in. Oh, that was a fine defensive play by Aiden O'Malley that time. Mollis is trying to run it down, but there's Haynes. Tell you, Ursinus has put more pressure on the Swarthmore defense, making it harder for the D to clear it out. Here comes Cramblett. He's got some space, but elects to go back to Hecht. That's a nice defensive play by Coster there. Coster on the far side to Schmidt. Well, Swarthmore continues to put pressure and make it very tough for the Bears to get it out from the back. That ball's off to Mushabe, but relentless pressure as Garcia and Kenny coming back into the game for Swarthmore. Marco Ballack in for Ursinus. So Tumushabe and Hecht get a breather. I expect to see both of them back here. Oh, that time O'Malley again was looking for the long ball, looking for Mollis, who's made some really good runs here for Ursinus. Henry Lynn. Pretty poised with the ball, isn't he? And we have a player down. Stoppage of play. I cannot see the number. The youngster is right by the Swarthmore bench. So 28-21 left here in the second half. Swarthmore leading Ursinus 1-0. We talked about the tough competition in the Centennial Conference. Johns Hopkins and Dickinson are the only teams that have not unbeaten untied, both 2-0. Gettysburg, Franklin and Marshall, Muhlenberg are all 1-0-1. McDaniel, Swarthmore, and Washington College 0-1-1. And Haverford and Ursinus 0-2. And as we mentioned, the top 6 will get into the Centennial Conference playoffs. There have been years, a couple years ago, Swarthmore got in the NCAA tournament and wasn't among the top 5, which it used to be, in the Centennial Conference. Still attending to their Ursinus player. And it is number 24, Marco Ballack, the freshman from Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, and he's being helped off. Well, we certainly wish the best for that youngster. Well, one thing we've seen here in the second half is that Ursinus has had some better looks, some better chances. I mean, in the first half, again with the shots 8-1 in favor of Swarthmore, it was all the Garnet. And they were good shots too. Kirk Ransom, the junior keeper, has kept the Bears into this game, made some real big saves. This is Ransom's 5th game. He has a 1.14 goals against average coming in. We're back to action. Mollis, man, he's been dangerous. And they tried to cross inside. That was Deal on the cross, but just too far. So it'll be the Garnet on the goal kick. Still holding a 1-0 lead, 27:38 left here in the second half. And those of you who watch these broadcasts know that there is no overtime in college soccer this year in the regular season. That's all levels. There's Cramblett. How did he work out of that? He has Coster to beat. He's looking for Garcia. There's Garcia going down the left flank. Garcia, and a slide by Grant. Tremendous defensive play, but it's still the Garnet. Claxon. Good one touch by Garcia. He was trying to free Kenny there. Again, it's been a very patient attack for Swarthmore. Here goes Garcia. Lorig. Garcia is such a good point man. He can get the ball and distribute right away, and there's an errant pass. Oh, and a block by Haynes. How many big plays has Haynes made today? But we have a foul on the Garnet, so we'll have a free kick. The Bears trying to go right away. Haynes is going to get a yellow, so you can't go right away. So this is the third yellow of the game. Chong got one in the first half for Swarthmore. Torres for the Bears. So it'll be Aiden O'Malley. I'm telling you, at this distance, if you can get it past the wall, you've got to try to go on goal. We'll see what O'Malley does. And he was shooting it for, and Freddie Lynn blocked it. He was going for goal. Coster with the long pass inside there, out of bounds, so it'll be a goal kick as Dean Chong comes into the game. Stathis Clothier is out. It has to be comforting if you're Coach Eric Wagner to just make these substitutions and understand that, you know, you're not losing anything. He's got just such great depth. He probably has 16 players that maybe could make a case for starting. That's kind of how deep this team is. Crawl with a nice ball that time to Claxon. Coster with the intercept. Ball Beer. By the way, back into the game, Savang Yapoyan, number 29, for the Bears. Tormey, he's on the far side there. Didn't have much room. Excellent defensive play by Lorig. He was the first one to get that, and now cleared out by the Bears. Ball Beer. Now again, Swarthmore didn't see anything it liked. Went back. Look at that trap by Freddie Lynn that time. How about that? That's a great way to keep possession. Here's Claxon. Will he beat? No. Grenda. But there's Haynes anticipating the pass that time to Tormey. Tight quarters again. Chong. They're calling Chong on a foul that time. They were tending to an injured player, and that was Deal that time. He was getting looked at by the referee, and the Bears took the free kick. Of course, there's something to be said about taking a free kick before a defense can set up. I'm a big proponent of that. Deal, Lures, and Carosella back into the game. Lurick, Yapoyan are out. Tell you, Lurick, he got a little banged up on that last play, and he was holding his leg a little bit. Lures tries to run it down. Good job by Kroll. And it'll be a goal kick for the Garnet. 22-16 left here in the second half. Swarthmore won. Ursinus nothing. Here come the Bears. Deal to Schmidt. Schmidt brought that into traffic that time and stolen away. Here comes Kenny. And Kenny was taken down that time by Carosella. And I wonder if we're going to get any kind of card here. Wait a minute. Carosella is being called there by Yuri Siskin. And he gives him a card. So 2 cards apiece, 2 yellows apiece for the teams today. Haynes, who's been one of the real stellar players on this field. Little give and go. Haynes and Garcia. Henry Lynn gets it out to Lorig. That's nice spacing. Here comes Lorig. Inside, but Schmidt has it, and he will clear it out. Lors has Haynes to beat, and very few people have beaten the freshman today. How about that play? Kenny. Slide, and that was a hard slide that time by Grant. So Sean Nolan will take the corner kick. Nolan takes a lot of the free kicks too. He's very, very accurate. Haynes, by the way, watch out for him. He's moving up there. Headed out, but Garcia will tee it up and over the crossbar. Well, Coach Eric Wagner was talking before the game about how excited he was to have Garcia back, and you can see why. He's made a major difference here today. Off the bench, but he's been very strong. Coster now running it down, has Freddie Lynn on his back. There's a nice pass from his keeper, Ransom. And Coster finally clears it. Grenda looking to chase it down. And that was Kroll. Leo Hecht back into the game, and Harry Lorick back for Ursinus. Henry Lynn coming to the bench. I believe this is Henry's first time out of the game. What a job by the freshman. I just love the way Swarthmore's been able to get the ball out of the back, and that was an excellent play by Lorick, who just came into the game. Here comes Grenda. He's dangerous. He has Claxon to beat, tries to spin around, and makes an errant pass. And once again, it's the Garnet going the other way. Leo Hecht. I think he may have had Cramblett if he passed it on the ground. He was marked pretty tightly that time, but he was calling for the ball. Kenny. Chong. Back to Lorig. How about the move by Lorig there? And he gets it back. Coster with a nice intercept. And had he not done it, Swarthmore may have had some numbers. Again, they're looking for Grenda, but those passes have been too far. And when you tell the story of the game, the defense by 15, Jackson Haynes, especially on Grenda, has just been outstanding. Claxon to Garcia. Garcia trying to cut in, didn't see the space, back to Claxon. Claxon, oh, the little miscommunication. I think Claxon thought Kenny was going to go toward the goal, did not. So it's Coster, who's played a strong game. But again, this has been a difference in this game. Look how hard it is for Ursinus to get the ball out from the back. See, they just made a turnover on that pass. That's because Swarthmore has put relentless pressure, and here comes Lurig. Lurig inside to Kenny, who one-timed it over. Tommy Mollis coming back in for Luke Lors. Bless Dumoshabi back into the game for Freddie Lynn. How'd you feel if you're the Bears defense? You just get finished dealing with Lynn, who's been a handful, and now you have to deal with Dumoshabi. I mean, that's just tremendous depth. Look at that control that time. Ursinus trying to work it out of the tight corner. Nolan. Dumoshabi. And again, pretty good defense that time by Joshua Costner, who did not let Bless turn the corner that time. Schmidt. Again, a lot of errant passes, and that one was stolen by Kenny. A lot of errant passes by the Bears today. Balbier. It's just been so tough to get the ball to Grenda. There he is that time. He went back to Mollis. And the ball out of bounds for the goal kick. .45 left here in the second half. It's Swarthmore 1. Ursinus nothing. A goal by Oliver Claxon in the first half has stood up so far. Boy, Kroll's been so accurate on those goal kicks, too. That one went right to heck. A lot of times the keepers kick goal kicks, and you don't know who's going to get possession, but he's been putting them right to his teammates when he takes them. Here comes Kenny. Kenny with the chip inside, and getting ahead on it was Dumoshabi. Ransom in the right spot that time. Wow, Kirk has really been tested in goal today by the Garnet. Here comes Hecht. He continues to apply the pressure. Working that right flank pretty well. Kenny couldn't quite get his foot on that ball. Cramblett coming in. He's battling for it, but kicked out of there that time by Grant. Lots of pressure by the Garnet. Nolan with a pretty nice head ball that time. Look at Hecht. How much running has he done today? Remember, Hecht missed several games due to injury as well. He's rounding into form. That's a good defensive play by Grant that time. 27 held his own with Dumoshabi, and had he not, Bless might have been able to turn that corner and walk in on the goal. But to me, this has been the story of the game. What you're seeing here right now, just how much trouble Ursinus has had getting the ball out of its own defensive zone. Look how tough this has been. See? Grant that time does gain possession. He'll take the throw. Grenda to Mollis. Mollis still has the ball. Mollis trying to turn. Mollis with the head ball that time, and Lorick was at the doorstep but couldn't quite get to it. Good chance by the Bears. You know, Mollis does a great job, again, with his back to the goal and making that turn, and he does it so quickly. And it was a great run by Lorick. I mean, there's no question Ursinus has put more pressure on here in the second half. The first half, you could say it was really all the Garnet. That ball was kicked out of bounds by O'Malley. I'll tell you, Hecht and when he's in the game, Garcia are just two great targets. You get them the ball and they know how to distribute it and get the attack going. Not a lot of wasted motion by either of them. Lorick with the cross that time, and Kroll does a pretty good job of getting out there as Mollis was on the doorstep. Tumushabe turning on the Jets, going down the right flank. Excellent job, though, by the Bears. That was Tormey that time doing a really good job on a tough one-on-one player. Here's Ransom. Ransom's a lot like Kroll. Yeah, he instead of punting a lot of times, he just gets it out to his own players. Here comes Schmidt to Grant. And you're going to see Grant making some runs late in the game. I mean, he's going to have to. There's just under 10 minutes to go here. Swarthmore up 1-0. Schmidt! And he was going that time for Grenda. That was a good idea. But Kroll got the ball. Trying to go to the head ball to number 14. Who again has not had a lot of room to operate today. As we said, that had to be the Swarthmore game plan to not give him any space. So conversely, there's Mollis. Mollis and Haynes. Did Mollis get that off? He did. Nolan. Head ball in. Granda with the pass. Oh, and Kroll gets it that time as O'Malley was coming in from the left side. What a play by Max Kroll. There's Garcia. He's back in, and he had a nice slide that time. That's going to be another corner, though. Aiden O'Malley on the corner, and all of a sudden the Bears are putting on some pressure. Nate Berger coming back into the game for Tormey. To Josh Sarna making his first appearance for Swarthmore. It'll be Thiel. No, excuse me. It'll be O'Malley on the corner. And that ball was hit out of bounds. That was Ball Beer coming up from the back that time. Nick at 6 foot, 155, went up high in the air that time. So the Bears have been putting considerable pressure, especially after a first half that did not see them really have much of an attack going. course, credit for that goes to the Swarthmore defense. Here comes Mollis, and a slide that time by Haynes. Schmidt tries to clear it in, or cross it in. Kenny couldn't quite get it out. Grant kept it in. How many big plays has Grant made here in the second half? And that time, whoa, we're probably going to get a card there. Deal with a tackle that maybe Brandon Graham would be proud of. He gets the yellow that time. Third yellow for the Bears. Swarthmore's had 2. Try to see who the player is down on the ground. Well, it's 6:52 left in the second half. And, of course, with no overtime in college soccer, there's certainly a sense of urgency. And that's Henry Lynn, who was down. He gets a well-deserved ovation that time. It looks like Grant Wynn's coming in. Yep. Wynn, the sophomore from Berkeley, Ohio, making his first appearance. He's seen quite a bit of playing time this year. Again, it just speaks to the depth that the Garnet have. Mollis doing a tremendous job, and he gets possession for the Bears. Hecht trying to spin from Berger, a pair of number 5s. How about Hecht? How about that? Grant kicks the ball out of bounds, so it'll be a throw-in for the Garnet. Claxon. Hecht. Just a little bit too far that time for Dean Chong. But the Garnet have kept up the relentless pressure in the defensive zone. Tumushabe just got a foot on that, but not enough to spring Kenny. So here comes Grant. As we said, he's going to make some runs. And that time, Grenda taken down. For the free kick. We're getting under 5 minutes to go in the game. They go short. Deal tries to split 2, but couldn't split the third. Couldn't split the third player. That was Chong that time that made the defensive play for Swarthmore. Patrick Tormey back into the game for the Bears. It'll be Lorick on the throw. Nice back heel by Mollis, wasn't it? Coster. Grenda with the head ball. Mollis trying to chest trap, trying to make the turn. He couldn't get anything on it, and cleared by Lorig. We told you how Tommy Mollis does a great job playing with his back to the goal and makes that turn so quickly. Just, there were too many white shirts there. Kroll that time, and he collides, it looks like, with Berger. That was quite a collision. We're going to have a corner kick. It'll be Aiden O'Malley. Oh, they tried to one time it there. Ball Bearer that time with a shot, and Kroll was right there. Nick Ball Bearer with the shot. Plenty of force on it. Here comes Kenny now. There's Ball Bearer again. He's back on D. Kenny still going toward goal. And again hit that time by Coster, who came over from the weak side and made the play. As it'll be Nolan on the corner, and Nolan is in no hurry. 2:25 and counting. Now here's one thing. Obviously, Swarthmore has to pick up for Nolan in the back in case there's a quick transition. Headed out. Hecht on the bounce. Lurick headed it. And Loring was kind of moving backwards, so it was hard to get really a good head on that ball, and the ball went out. 1:41 and counting left here in the second half. Swarthmore 1. Ursinus nothing. Tumo Shabe trying to keep it. There's Wynn. Wynn is in no hurry. Kenny. Maybe a little keep away time here for the Garnet. Wynn. Back to Haynes. Haynes will cross it and switch fields to Lorig. Back to Wynn. This is a nice job of possession by Swarthmore right now. 1:02 left. A lot of poise with the ball, and Nolan finally gets it out. And Coster with a long head ball back in. One thing about the Bears, they have been fighting this whole time. And there's an offside that time on Tumo Shabe. And now we're going to have a stoppage and a yellow card. 36.9 seconds left. Here comes Grant. He's made several good runs here in the second half. Granda almost got his head on that ball. May have, but didn't get a lot on it. And that ball's out of bounds, so it'll be Hecht on the throw. He's in no hurry again. Coster. Lorig with the defensive play. One more throw. Let's see how it goes. Headed out by Wynn. And that's the ball game. What an effort by both teams, actually, as a first half goal by Oliver Claxon. His second of the year stands up, and Swarthmore beats Ursinus by a 1-0 score. The Garnet improved to 6-2-1 on the season, 1-1-1 in the Centennial Conference. Ursinus falls to 1-5-2 and 0-3 in the conference. And as we said earlier in the broadcast, this is really Centennial Conference action at its best when when a team not considered a contender like Ursinus really gave Swarthmore all it could handle. Swarthmore dominated the first 45 minutes, and actually, keeper Kirk Ransom with those 7 first-half saves really kept the Bears into the game. But Ursinus had chances in the second half, and Max Kroll and the defense did the job for the Garnet. So just some outstanding play by both teams. And by the way, Ursinus will host Washington College on Saturday. Swarthmore's at McDaniel Saturday at 3 o'clock. So that'll wrap things up. Your final score, Swarthmore 1, Ursinus nothing. This is Mark Narducci saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.